Hello, welcome to Nifty Alpha Trader. So today went terribly wrong. Everything was under loss, and I exited all my positions. That's one thing good, but almost breaking even like 3 months. Since 3 months, I've been breaking even, and now particularly, I would say I am not in losses. Let me check and give you the detailed report. I didn't maintain ledger yesterday. I made a mistake, one mistake in Lupin. So I have to recorrect that. Once I recorrect, I'll make a report tomorrow on the monthly things, and I will give a detailed report on what exactly has happened there. So the market ended up in pretty red, and again I will give you a disclaimer that I'm not a trader registered by SEBI, or I'm not a educator. I'm just here to vlog on my experience. Hi Aki. Now coming to the trades today, I will show you how deep red everything went. So let's get started. So today when we started the day, so if you're seeing entire losses is around 30,000, which was booked a few days ago. If you have seen, we were not in losses, but I stopped maintaining ledger, so it might show much different loss portfolio than this, but here we had much worse losses. And if you are seeing Lupin, it's not 29,000, we had around in real trades. If we see, we had around 15,000 in losses. But if I have not exited this trade, I would have lost more 16,000 in this trade alone. So this is where risk management comes in. But the main intention was I didn't quit because I couldn't manage. The main reason why I have not traded is I have spoken in this channel, my retail trader channel, what mistakes I was doing, and then I posted like what happened here, and then they suggested me, like, I am, after closing all the trades, I have said that I have done enough firefighting, risk management and other things, and Basebook has suggested me one thing, that is I have been taking few risky trades, that is FSL, Chambal, IEX, and I'm taking more volatile trades which might lead to something like this. So I would take the suggestion of the group because they have been profitable since a long time, and they have been profitable sustaining that. So I am taking that recommendation. So after all these trades, I wanted to quit for today and make the trades till, take no trades till few days, let's say till February 2nd. But what happened then is I thought to sell a covered call for rain, because rain is right now, I've taken this position long ago, and right now it is in red, and this has reduced from 150, heights of 150. So I was thinking, let's keep a hedge here, and if it's going up, I would take a futures in the next call. But on most probably I'm closing this trade on Monday, and that is it from my trading point of view. But if you see overall Nifty and my positions, everything is in red. Almost everything is in red. This was a challenging day. What happened here is I have two positions. One is Satai, which wanted to go really up. This is the saddest part of market, if you see this, the trade, the stock which I own, this went from 95 yesterday, and it wanted to reach the new heights of 100, and then it fell down again and came to 97. So this is the saddest part. So even if Satai wanted to go really and do really well, it went up, and then market is like, no, I'm not giving you permission to do that, and it came down. if you see the same thing with Subex. So overall portfolio is down. Overall portfolio, if you are seeing, overall portfolio is down by so today the losses were more than the market losses. So this is not an alpha trade. So if you're seeing, the losses were 43,000 while and the market went much lesser, but these were all affected because we're holding some stocks which are also with a low valuation. So this correction can help me to aggressively buy more of these stocks, but ultimately the losses in the trade might not be affecting the entire portfolio. So that way I am clear. And now where all I will be taking entry is a good question to ask. So what I'm doing right now is I'll be doing a preparation on what trades to take till February 2nd, and then I will prepare on a good trade rather than just taking a blind trade, waiting for a right moment and taking a good trade and a profitable trade for 1 month and doing a swing there is much better than doing a daily analysis and working out on the trade. So right now, yesterday I have suggested few of the things. Let's say I was also recommending few things which I have seen here. If you remember, yesterday in a long session I discussed the PI industry would be doing great, and this Adani Port and Container Corp were the selections. And also if you are seeing Everest and these are all the stocks which we have picked yesterday. But Aarti Drugs, so we are going to wait for a right moment. Once the pickup starts, we'll start trading in Aarti, we'll start trading in that. But let me see how the open interests and everything are going for. Let's start from Adani because Adani is a main target. Today also Hdfc Bank performed well. We had an eye on Hdfc Bank. I had an eye on Hdfc Bank, but not aggressive position. So even if you're seeing this one, we are seeing a good support at 700 zone in this present month. If you're seeing next month, there is a good support here. There are straddles here actually. Good. There are straddles in 700 zone in Adani, but the real support is in this zone. So 700 zone is a good buy zone according to F&O. Options, just options. So if you're seeing because even this was down, I guess they have rolled down the positions of February by just this one. So I guess this was in risk, so they wanted to hedge the positions there. Cool. Now coming to futures positions, let's see how Adani is doing now. Okay, let's see first rain. Rain is fine because there is enough support at the 240 zone and 230 zone. Also there were huge sellings which took place today in this expiry, in February expiry. Also there are a lot of trades which are happening in 230 zone. So what we can also do is just trade based on this. Once the volatility is done, we can place a trade something like this, but it is showing me there is some volume here 15, but here it is okay, wrong trades. This is how we have to do this. So it is showing me a good range here now. If you remember, let me show you the entire trades and what I have taken from day starting and how I manage the volatility. So since morning, it was more than yesterday. So I was firefighting 48 orders in total. The entire thing was managing the downside. So if you see Lupin, I have managed Lupin from here till here, exactly till here, and I left it after that range. So almost I have managed it to the down move of 5%, and more than that I couldn't manage, and then I left it with 10,000 loss. The basically the expected loss was 2,000, but then I tried to take more risk and more reward. I was expecting around 40,000 on that trade, and then because of this huge volatile move, I think we can enter in futures positions once there is some this noise of volatility is done. Again, I can take a few stocks, but the point is I won't be doing futures in Lupin now. And also I was seeing a few news on granules. So even granules is in a good level right now. Even granules dropped. So once it comes to a consolidation region, then we can again take a futures position in granules once the clarity, we are getting the clear clarity of it crossing this line. We can get back to this trade. So I would keep here a trigger, an alert, and I will remove all these alerts again. I will create an alert here. Not exactly here, I'll create an alert here. So I'm adding 2 alerts to granule, so whenever these points are reached, and I'll keep adjusting these alerts, so I can take a position here once the volatility is done. And Adani ports, let's see Adani ports also now. So if I'm going to Adani ports, first let's go to weekly chart. Weekly chart shows a clear trend line of uptrend, and it has gone in a straight uptrend for a while, and then there is this consolidation region which happened. So this is a good price, but it might not be available at this price. But this straight line, after this straight line, there is huge consolidation which is happening. If you see this kind of movement, right, you will also notice that here there was a movement, and then it climbed up again. It was available at the same price if you're seeing here. So most probably next 2-3 years this price might be reached, but we are doing a temporary trade here. So when did this happen? Even in 2016 and 2017. So this Adani might reach the same prices, but if it doesn't, sometimes if you think a price will be reached and you can buy something at a good price even though it's a good stock. If you're seeing Apollo has been in this zone since a long time, right? It has reached this zone. So if you're seeing here, and never reached this zone again, and it has never reached this zone again. It has reached this zone, but again, if you're seeing the PB ratios were at 6, but this ratio is not reached now. And even if you see present 6 PB ratio, it is somewhere here, somewhere in 2000, not here. So this is a missed opportunity in Apollo, because suddenly the company does really good in fundamental levels. If you are seeing the same with Adani, ultimately if you are seeing the PB ratios are really, if you are seeing this, the PB ratios are dropping. It has consolidated at this region. Earlier this PB ratio was here exactly. And in the crash, this was the good PB ratio, which is 4.2, and it was here in the all-time high. Even now it is consolidating here. It might come down, but the ultimate point is, if Adani is really showing a great result, so if you look here now in the trend, so this point is a great point of purchase as of now. If the results are really good, the earnings might be tomorrow or day after tomorrow. It is on Feb 1st. So if they prove really good earnings, the stock will bombard, or it might come down to a realized price if it's doing good. If it is really doing good, then you might not get this price again, and that time you might regret. But what you can also do is, if you're seeing this price, this is another consolidation region. If it is doing terribly bad, where will it come? It will come somewhere 3.31. By the existing books, let's see by the old booking. So let's see what's the price right now. The price is at the price is at 27.9 divided by this is a PB. Now if you're calculating the lowest valuation, undervalue, it would be here somewhere in 3.3 PB, which will be around 600. 600 is a good price to pay for Adani in terms of PB. But if they have more bookings, and it will increase this range to the present range. So ultimately you are getting this if the results are extremely good. Now the expectations are estimates. If you see, the previous estimates were high, the reported was less. So this time also the estimate is the same as the previous one, or even more great, same as previous one, but somewhat exceeding that. If you're seeing previously, when there was a result, the next day the stock pumped up. The same might happen even now. If it is doing badly also, it might pump up because of the result. Someone might have known the results, might move up or down, but I think we will be buying this at a good price overall. And then now let's see. Okay, this is a good selling point, that is 7.16 PB. So if let's say, if the present if they are doing good, if they are doing good, I would consider this as they have the estimate would be 3. The present price is 3, right, at 3 PB. So into 7, so 6,800 is the price where you can sell it. So this is the view on Adani, what I'm carrying. That is basically it. But I want this at an extremely good price, so I am not going to lose a lot in this trade, and I'll be doing really well with this trade. Overall, the expiry and this are coming to a halt. And now let's draw a graph. So if we draw a line, steady line, what we are getting is a line something like this, but I'll draw in a logarithmic chart. So if you're seeing logarithmic, it is in this range all the time. And it has already in this chart, it has to move, but due to few negative news which were there, it didn't go down, but the stock is consolidating. You should what I would say is, the trend line is not a good thing to usually use in a fundamental stock. You never do trend lines in a fundamental stock, but ultimately this trend line, if you're drawing the previous trend line, it is not at all giving you a proper trend, because this has a consolidation. If you are seeing in the weekly chart, it also looks something like this. So if you're seeing, this is a consolidation region again. It has broken this trend line and going smoothly like this. So if something is breaking a trend line and not going down immediately, it means that it is going to consolidate it for a long time. So if you're seeing here, this PB tried to breach, it didn't happen, and it waited here for a long time, and it came down to a good price, and again came down to a good price and didn't break it. So this might also happen with Adani for a long term, and the results might also be good. So what we have to do if we are looking for a great trade, we have to enter once it breaks this trend line, the same one like this after, let's say if this was broken, then the entry would be here, and then from 410 region we are till 790 region. The same thing I'm expecting even here. So if this trend line breaks, we will have another good entry overall, and if it's breaking down, let's not take an entry at all. Only if the trend line breaks, I will take this entry. So overall, Adani Ports is not a good time to enter for me, so I won't be entering right now. Okay, that is it. So Adani decided not to enter. Now, what is another trade which I was thinking of? Paytm in stocks. Overall, in weekly, it is so down that we can't even look to enter this. Paytm is down now, so I might not enter. This will be a resistance, good resistance, because it had played an important role earlier. So this will be a good resistance. Let's take 800 as a good support after 900. 900 is not acting as a support yet, but because it's a round number, we can do something like this. So it's going in this trend. Wait for this trend to break, and you can take an entry. But what I would keep is, I will keep a alert in this trend line little above, because it can be also a false breakout, most probably because it has already been. So I will create an alert over here. Now Paytm is done. The another trade which I wanted to do, I've kept a list of all the trades which I wanted to take, again keeping a technical indication of all of those, so I don't mess up and I only take when the price is triggered. I've done that with Lupin, but Lupin, the market said no to that, so I can't do anything there. Now the other trade which I was looking at is where is it? Yes, Adani Ports is done. Amar Raja batteries is at extremely tempting prices right now again, but the market has not given us an opportunity overall, and I won't be trading Amar Raja until there is a news. But also it's not just about the news. Only in the hard times you have to enter to reap good results in a stock. The Amar Raja trade is right now in that position where you can enter and reap the profits once the business is stable. So it keeps something like this trend, because it has given fake breakout here, and I entered here once and I exited the trade immediately. So I don't want to do the same. Rather, I would just wait for some time and enter. So I'll also create an alert here with this trade. And the other one, and I will also create, I'll create a wish list and also add the alerts there, not just here. This is not actual way of doing the alerts, because this trend line will trigger only once. So Amar Raja is done. Amar Raja is done. Adani Ports is done. What else is there? Wow. So it's not just about it breaking this line, it has to also test this things. So this will be the immediate support which it has to test multiple times and break it, not just testing it once. If it's testing once, I won't trust it, but it has to be in this angle most of the time. So let's say if I'm taking an entry now, it has to maintain here. If it's coming down in this zone, again we shouldn't be entering that zone. So Amar Raja right now I would be keeping it here, like something like this. Amar Raja is done. Adani puts. So this support line, I will create an alert for this. Paytm is done. Now SBI card. This is one more interesting trade which I am thinking to enter. Right now it has broken even the support. There is in a weekly chart, the another support we can find is somewhere at this zone. As this is a new script, the entry right now would be risky and not favoring us in any way, but yet the immediate resistance is somewhere here, support is somewhere here. So I will put this point, and even this point there is immediate support. The same with this script. If you are seeing this, it's going in a downtrend, but once this picks up and this tests this support and breaks, then we can enter again. So there are 3 scripts which I have said. Then there is Hdfc Bank. Okay, Hdfc Bank in a weekly chart, if you're seeing, it has a good consolidation zone. The results were also good, but this was a support zone, this was a resistance zone, this is a weekly trend line. I'll draw a trend line now. Nice trend line. So if you're seeing, it has bounced with the expectation of good result, and that was achieved. And now in daily time frame, it is going down once again. Now what I would do is I'll keep, okay, there's no support and resistance region here properly, because if you're seeing, this would be a huge support region and this would be another support region, this will be another support region. So I wanted this price, I guess we can get it at this price, but I'll keep this as a, right now this as a immediate support, because if you're seeing earlier, it has landed here multiple times and broke this and went up. So I'm thinking the same. If you're seeing the valuations also, it earlier it was valued really well, and now it is basically undervalued in terms of PB ratios. But someone was saying that NPAs are Bloomberg Quint, I guess. There were reallocation of NPAs and bad loans in HDFC. This is where, okay, this is 6 days ago. The earlier report was saying something like this. They were saying that there were some issues in HDFC, so that is not making me directly enter in HDFC Bank and take the trade in HDFC just because of that reason. But right now there might not be any good entry. So HDFC is not an entry. Anything, whatever, all the 4 are not a good entries, whichever I was thinking. Now let's see which stock can we enter. So I will create all my portfolio as a list here, and which we can average. Mhm. So portfolio is here. Let's say Asian Paints. Asian Paints was down a lot, but overall we are sitting in this position since a long time, so it's fine. Then next one would be Asian Paints. I don't know how to directly export this and bring it here. It would be much easier like that. Aster DM. Mm-hmm. So if you see here, if we need hedges for this to manage this position and get the money back here, but my positions are not so crucial right now because the market is going volatile. So if I put a hedge and tomorrow the market is up, I would have gone wild. Okay, what I'll do is I'll keep my console here of portfolios in the other page and I'll just bring them here. Okay, let's do one by one. Asian Paints. So Asian Paints, overall I'll clear all the old drawings. From the highs, there is, let's draw an immediate support in. First let's go to weekly. What I will do here is I'll put a daily chart here and weekly chart here, so it would be much faster for me in terms of that. And I will remove Bollinger Bands, BB and RSI also. Don't need RSI. PB ratio is required in weekly PB. Okay, right now if you're seeing the ratios of Asian Paint, the Asian Paint weekly after 2009 has gone up and it has kept on going up, but the valuations are really high at 25 PB ratio. So this might fall or not fall because the Asian Paints is a monopoly in that segment. But this small variation in a weekly chart is not going to reap us a great results. So I would keep something like this, and it's already touching that. So I can average it now, but I don't have to average because ultimately the shares are doing good. So in weekly chart, this is the how it looks. In daily chart, why is it going up? I don't understand. Okay, both are logarithmic right now. So there is a support. The next support will be somewhere here. But I don't think I have to do anything. I don't have to disturb it. Asian Paints, after we took it, it grew like 34%. I don't know how much time, but now let's go to the next trade, which is Aster DM. So Aster DM, again weekly chart, we'll draw proper trend line now because we have a trend. I just drew this earlier. So we have a trend now. Let's draw even support, resistance. The support, weekly support is somewhere here. This will be again a good support where we can take an entry, otherwise we won't be taking any other entry anywhere else. And where should we take an entry? In this zone. If it doesn't touch this zone, 160 zone, we won't be taking any entry. And if it crosses above this, then we can take one more entry, but that might not be right now. So this is fine. This is still in the zone. We can get multiple entries, and the PB ratio is slowly reducing, and the price is, so it's acting according to the price. So I won't touch this anytime because it has been in the same PB ratio since a long time. Now coming to the next one is Bajaj Finance. बजाज फाइनेंस में क्या हो रहा है? Bajaj Finance has dropped like a lot, but it has picked up again in this week. If you're seeing the entire trend of it, I have already drawn a support line somewhere here, but in an overall trend, it has been an uptrend and it has not come down anytime. So I will, but I'll draw proper support here. This is where we have to buy more. Until then, we don't have to touch this, and there will be a resistance here. So I don't even have to average this right now. So I'm thinking to keep the position as it is. Now coming to Bharti Airtel. So do I have to hedge any of these positions? Not right now. I have to hedge these positions once they are coming below those levels. Okay. Here is a good support which we have, but if you are seeing the valuation in PB ratios, it's skyrocketed almost at all-time highs. It was 2009 levels if you're seeing here, and now after even greater than that sometime. So not an exit point immediately, because telecom sector overall is growing, so we can have it, but we can take one more entry when it's coming to this price. And right now I don't see any kind of bad things in Bharti Airtel. The next one is Clean. Do we have another entry? Most of the people are missing Clean since a long time. Clean has moved since the IPO. Clean was moving really good. You're seeing this was a trend line and weekly trend line. I am drawing a general trend line because we don't find these points. Okay, so if you're seeing here also, I don't touch this because I'm drawing a general trend line now, as how an investor can see this. But now if you're seeing, there would be another entry in Clean once it's coming to this point. But seeing the PB ratios, they have dropped. They have dropped to 39 from all-time high and 50 to 39. So it might come for a less value also if it is in a downtrend again. Let's say we'll draw another here. So we'll enter some more here, and if it's coming down, we'll enter some more here and also here. Because it's a new stock, we need to have multiple supports and multiple resistance. Okay, someone might ask questions in YouTube. I am not checking that. Great. The next one which we can concentrate is Clean is done, DLF. Okay, DLF is coming to a good price again. Once it touches this trend, we can enter again, not immediately, but once if you're seeing this trend line, it has to come to this region to re-enter. So 380 or some levels, but DLF was doing well till today morning, and now it fell. I'm removing these alerts. Yes. DLF was fine. Now coming to Excel pack. I don't know the script name exactly, but this has gone down drastically since the time we bought it. Now EPL, okay, script is EPL. So what they do is they are into packaging and other stuff. Now the stock is coming to a good buy region again and again, and the stock we bought is greater and the weightage is also great. So only this one is down. I might average this, but not with a great amount of conviction. So I don't want to exit this either, because if it's coming to a better price, we can hold it and buy more. That's the entire intention of this holdings. So if you see, it is coming down, held 1 lakh of stock. This is cool. Overall, this is the next support region which we are finding here. So we can enter here again. If you are seeing the present PB ratios, the present PB ratios is 193.5 by 334 into, okay, so the top valuation was at 6, so 3. Okay, so if you are buying now, you can sell it at 335 zone, but since this is reducing, if the results are really good, even this might jump up. But let's say if we are averaging further more when it's reaching this region, and if the PB ratios right now are in support region, all-time support, but if you're seeing 2014, it was available for much cheaper. 2012, it was available for much cheaper. So they are into exporting of packages. So here we had a support which is breaking, and now the next support is in this region. So this looks like an interesting trade to add up and get much better stocks here in this one. The next is Hero Moto Co. Nahi. So overall in uptrend, now the support region is somewhere here. And resistance is here, so it is near the resistance region. So I won't be touching this, and the stock I own is also less, so it's better to not touch this. Next is PSP projects. In a weekly trend, it is looking good. It is looking it is almost at the resistance region, and now if you're seeing the PBs have consolidated and it's coming to a good PB ratio, so there is a breakout zone here. I am holding good amount of stock here, but I guess I can improve this, so I'll add an alert here and increase the stake once it reaches this regions. That would be a good promising stock to have. PSP looks interesting, so I am adding once again an alert here. Then Hero Moto Co. I am holding. This is a new stock which I am holding, and if you're seeing the move, the 1 week move was really good. So this is one more thing which I can bet on, but it even in a daily time frame, it is trying to break this one. So again, there will be an entry once it breaks 800 here, but there is an earning which has to be seen and entered carefully. But overall, if you see Hero Moto Co, where is the indicator here? I don't know why this is not being added. This is terrible. Let me refresh the page. Now we have the PB ratios back. So if you're seeing in historical valuation, this valuation of PB ratios has never come, and now it is in this zone. And now if it is breaking this to 2800, then there can be an opportunity of futures. If you're seeing this, the aggressive movement, even if the trade stock market was down since 3 moves, it is trying to break this zone with a good volume. But I would wait until the entire expiry is done, and also for February earnings. Once they come out, if I'll be also doing an expiry trade on this, most probably from 4th or sometime soon, but not immediately. I'm thinking this is a good stock to hold overall. So let's see. Next is Exide. Exide will also perform with Hero Motoko. Even this is trying to break this zone, if you are looking at this. So but I will keep somewhere, the zone is here, something like this. Even I'll do the same with Hero Motoko, so I'll be on the safer side, right? I'll do the same with Hero Motoko. What I'll do is I'll not just enter here, I will enter somewhere here. So the break and trend line is clear, so it is breaking this and landing it here, something like this. So it is basically testing this zone for twice, and then if it is landing here and taking a support here, then that is when we will enter. So let's say something like this would be a good point of trigger that says us enter to Hero Motoko, and we can trade it from here on. Hero Motoko is done. Exceed is added. Exceed is added here. Exceed is added here. So I'll enter one Exceed, another huge amount. Coming to granules. Granule, there was a new news on granules, which was also somewhat favoring, but overall if you see the trend line, it is trying to break since a long time, but it is not able to do that. I don't know why. It is trying to break this trend and go up, and even if you see historical, it is almost in the support zone of historical support before 2018 in terms of PB ratios, but that is somewhere like this. So if it is breaking this trend line, it's forming a flag pattern. So as soon as it reaches this zone again, if it's breaking this trend line again, we can have a good entry and sell against it, a covered call, and then wait for it to break up and then buy some more stocks there. So granules is done. Then next is JKIL. So here if you are seeing only entry was in Hero Motoko, which we found. The remaining things we are not finding a good entry. JK Lakshmi Intra is also okay in a downtrend. Oh, cool. So this is, if you are seeing here, it has taken a support here and it is trying to take support here. So let's say if JK Infra again breaks this zone, we can take a entry, right? If it breaks this, okay, I'll keep it somewhat up. If it breaks this zone and tests this zone and crosses this, again I'll be somewhat conservative and load the trade somewhat like this and keep it more up. So once it reaches this zone, I can enter again. Until then, let's not touch this. Again, coming to Satai, this was the joke which happened today. So Satai, I don't know how to pronounce it, but basically this is a paper industry which is now coming into cups and for let's say Burger King and the entire movement of moving from plastic to paper is what will play a key role in Satai, because they are one of the largest in India in terms of paper. Fingers crossed. I don't know, there are multiple other brands who are doing that, but these guys are also doing well. So if it's crossing this zone again, let's enter, but let's say if it's crossing 100 again, let's enter more. But it might give a false breakout right now, so I won't trade until the end of this year most probably. But if it's giving a good entry once again with this trend line matching, okay, I'll put somewhere here, and there is a good entry here also. Let me keep here a good entry, another entry which we can have. So overall the industry, if you're seeing this is in lows, almost in lows, and if we are expecting a high, it can be almost 3.31 pb. JK Lakshmi is next. So we have two things. Let me give a clarification. One is JK Infra. This is J Kumar. This is JK Lakshmi. Both are different or the same. I really don't know so much. So I'll have to again take this thing into consideration. If both are same like Tata and Tata Group, if both JKS are same. But ultimately I don't see a good movement here. It is in a downtrend in weekly chart, and also a downtrend in daily chart, of course, and we are finding a good support region somewhere here to average it. And the PB ratios, it's somewhat overvalued, but I believe the cement sector will be doing good, and this valuations will change with the earnings which they are going to have. That might change the entire thing, and the PB ratios will reduce and the valuations might increase. That is what the thought process was behind entering into cements. Now Lupin, I've taken a recent entry in Lupin. This is wild movements altogether. If you're seeing Lupin is in a downtrend since a long time, and even if you're seeing PB ratios, everything, they are in a good support region, right? If you're seeing here, they are in a support region of PB ratios, but that is not the main concern, because fundamentally you shouldn't be caring about PB ratios much. But overall, if you are seeing, I found an entry because after such a long consolidation here, it has broken this and trying to break this region, but it couldn't, and has taken a support here for some time. So I'm thinking this as another support which it has to take care of. If it's going down again, that is bad for us, but still we might getting it at a good price, so I can enter with much further lots. But I don't think it might come down, but it is always the decisions which we take are wrong as a retail investor. So I am not so much into this, but when I've seen multiple VCs and other people are also entering here, I was interested in that. So let's say if it's crossing 140 again, 1000 again, and deleting this, if it's crossing 1000 again, we can take an entry of this one. If it doesn't cross, we don't have to care about this much. Lupin, it's fine. I will draw a support region here once again. Good support region was this. So I will also draw a trend line somewhat like this one, which it is a healthy support which it should give respect to. If it doesn't give a respect to this trend line, then we can basically exit in the stock or hedge it with the options. Next is SBI. SBIN. seeing even SBIN is performing well. Wow. Okay. I don't think it's a good entry right now in SBI, but the PB ratios are less compared to the historical PB ratios when they were available at a good price, and it is PSUs are trying to break the stereotypes, especially SBA. So I will be sticking with this, and I will find a support region at this zone, and we can enter again, but this was not a good decision then. Idea is just a turnaround story which I am believing in, but it is available for a good price from where I have entered in this. So let me put as a support region as here and take one more entry once it's coming here. With I have already had less than a lakh here invested here. Then I have Ircon is PSU again. Even this is in constant fluctuation. This looks like a pulse. It has been always fluctuating in these levels because they give consultancy service for construction, for PSUs, for garment. So this is won't say this is a flag pattern or anything. In a weekly trend, they have been existing since less than past 4 years, so let's not expect good things out of them immediately, but I guess if it is breaking in some direction, it will break good. And even if I'm seeing from the fundamental standpoint, it looks good. Okay, I have missed out a lot of things here, so I've added, okay, let me sort by names here. So I've added Asian Paints, Bajaj Finance, Bharti, Clean, DLF, Exceed, XL, P is added here. PL is added here. Okay, this is added. Now Exceed is here. Federal Bank, I don't have to see Federal Bank, but it was down since the price which I paid for it is no longer, it is there, the price has crossed when I bought it at this zone and it is peaking, but we can find one more entry once this this level has reached already. So if you're seeing weekly chart, it is in a downtrend even in monthly. So there is a good resistance once this breaks, and even if you're seeing PB ratios are extremely less, it can be 2x of this. So presently it's 1, so it can go to 200, most probably from 100 to 200. Let's hope for that and take a good quantity here. If I'm feeling that I have to give up SBI and take Federal Bank for this reason, but let's see. The next one is Federal Bank is done, JEL is done, JNFC, Gujarat Narmada. This is an all-time highs and it is not coming down, so I don't have to re-enter this anytime soon. But where is the another good support would be somewhere here. And overall, if you're seeing PB ratios, they are in lows and they can touch good highs and come back. So right now it is on 1.14. It can touch and cross this fertilizers, and let's see. Granules I've added. Hydrocorp I've added. SB. Kaveri seeds are. I've been making losses in this since a long time. It has been there, and if you're seeing, it is almost in a downtrend since a long time. I wanted some seed stock, and this looked like a market leader. Today. Okay, it is reaching the support region. Okay, good time to average is once it reaches this. So if you're seeing, it is an all-time low. That is attractive here. Let's see. Let's set an alarm here and let's enter once again. I've been facing losses all over the year, and if I can average this to more, we can make a good amount of profits in this region. So KSPL is a good trade. We found one more. So only KSPL is an entry for us. Lupin is not an entry. Lupin also we thought it would be an entry, right? Yes. There is one more, NB Ventures, Navbharat Ventures. So NB Ventures is it is consolidating here. If you're seeing even the PB ratios, they are extremely less compared to the IPO. It has gone 4.5x and now it's running in the same region. So I think it is fundamentally a good stock for me, because even if you want to own a multinational stock, Bharat, let's say who are based out of South Africa for mining, this is a good stock. Overall, they are into power production in few regions in Africa. Overall, this is in an uptrend. So if it has a breaking zone here, if it breaks this zone again, we can take an entry. And if it can hit this multiple times, so let's take an entry somewhere above this zone, safe. So if we can take an entry here, and NB Ventures is already at this. It was already at this zone. So we'll take one more entry once it is touching this zone. So we found two entries. One is, I'll write this down somewhere. KSCP and NB Ventures, Hdfc Bank. Where was the other entry which we were thinking of? Satai, no. SBI, no. Federal Bank, might be. JFs, no. HDFC, nahi. Granules. Hero Motoco, right? Yes, Hero Motoco. Motoco is in watch list. Where is the other entry which we are looking at? So we are looking at two things. One is KSCL, which is a good, we can average it out. And NB Ventures is one more thing. And now coming to Prestige. Prestige was a good entry or not? Okay. Overall, it was an all-time highs when we bought it, but if you're seeing the valuations, earlier for the IPO, it was given at 6.57. So this can be a high which it can reach to. But overall, real estate industry is good and it is almost at all-time highs. But we can re-enter once again when it's coming to this region. Overall, but not anytime soon. We won't be entering it again. I would say this is a bad entry. PSP projects. projects. Okay, we were saying PSP projects, right? Yes, PSP projects once again. Projects. I am shortlisting this, then I will do the fundamental study for these stocks again. Then next coming stock is Rain. Then we have Satai, which we have already added, Subex. I have averaged once it fell down good in a good way. Here is where I entered again. Now if I'm expecting it to fall further once again, if it's falling, here will be another entry which we'll be taking, and again here will be another entry. The more it falls, the more aggressive I'll buy Subex. I am keen on Subex for a lot of time, and because I wanted to enter here, I missed this opportunity, but I don't want to miss again and again. So whenever it's possible, I'll enter with more and more aggressively. Subex. The next entry is Tata Consumer Products. Yes, sorry. Okay, Tata Consumer Products if you're seeing this, the PB ratios are presently at a high level, all-time highs, which is suggesting that the entry can now be exited and we can re-enter once the stock is back to its original valuation. So I'm thinking it can break this trend line and come down. So we probably have to exit Tata Consumers. This is a trend line, but I'll read the fundamentals. And now coming to, okay, if you're seeing these valuations, okay, Tata, if you're seeing now Tata Motors, this is hilarious when it comes to that. The valuations are skyrocketed, but not greater than the earlier one. So I'll just keep this position still there. Tata Motors, I can enter more aggressively, but this has most of the weightage of my stock, so I can't enter this apart from looking at the price and feeling proud about the entries which have been taken. Next is Tata Power. Tata Power, heavy entries here since a long time, and then it has broken this trend line. We didn't enter this again, so if it is coming back to this price, so if you're seeing here, this is already not a good valuation compared to this one. It was reached 5, now it's at 3, so we can add some more, but even this is huge weightage if you're seeing. So I can't enter to this stock until it is coming to undervalue and basically doing that same thing. Next is the last one out of all these is Thyrocare, which I am looking again. After a long time, the Thyrocare is a diagnostic center startup right now, because they have tie-ups with Pharmacy, and there will be another entry here then. Overall, this is what I am looking at in stocks. These are all the combination of stocks and other things overall. So the entries will be again the K. If you see, Kaveri Seeds will be an entry. NB Ventures will be a new entry. looking to average this, but now I'm thinking because it has consolidated for so long, I'm thinking I'll miss the entry, so I'll be entering this one. It's not a FOMO, but the valuations are good, and if you see overall valuation, it can reach the peaks of 4, and then we can exit. Let's see. So that's the reason I'm thinking NB Ventures, but I'll read the fundamentals of it. So we have filtered the list: NB Ventures, Hdfc Bank, the next one. When this would be an entry, but because of the PB ratios, which are seemingly low than historical ones, but this can be a good entry overall. Next is PSP projects, which we plan to enter. And the other one is SBI. Exit will be SBI, most probably, because SBI I am not thinking to exit, so I'll remove it from the list because there are not so many huge positions. But let's buy on the dip again. And Tata Consumer, this will be exit because of the PB ratios are really high, and also before exit I have to know why I have to exit again. Entries are easy, exits are really hard. We have to make a decision, because usually what happens after exit, right, you feel bad that you didn't enter in a right time again. So I'm thinking to exit Tata Consumers and buy all these. So this is what I was thinking. Okay guys, in technicals we are done. I'll do the fundamentals and I will talk to you later. So overall I was sitting in losses, but this is a time to buy, not to feel sad. So take care and bye bye.